Welcome back to yet another session of the best writers with IELTS Band 9. My name is Professor Maria Mamourian. Today's session is about workplace writing. It is very important to know what are exact components of proper, accurate, concise, precise, and direct writing in business. The first step that any writer at work need to know is how you need to be effective in anything that you write and how effective communication will come to place. At work, for example, before you apply for a job, you need to write down your resume and imagine that if your resume is not stable and is not compatible, then job applications might not be as effective as you expected. In order to write any kind of professional writing, from letters, memos, reports, and so on, before anything else, you need to analyze your audience. The first question that you can ask yourself, a very, very simple question, is even before creating and drafting a simple text message, you always ask yourself who you're sending the text message to. Very much the same as any kind of professional writing, that you ask yourself who is the audience. And based on that audience group, you need to analyze the formality of the content. You need to be able to select the appropriate grammar structure to avoid short tic-tac sentences and try to employ more of the complexity of the structure, as well as the vocabulary and the terminology or idiomatic expressions and collocation that you need to have. So audience analysis is the first step. When you analyze your audience, you need to ask yourself this question, that if the audience is not a simple group of people that you're communicating with, you need to be aware that the message that you're encoding or you need to draft either verbally for the presentation or in writing, you need to make sure that your audience will understand and comprehend that kind of a message. Common sense, of course, and you need to ask yourself if there's no jargon, if there's no specific idiomatic expressions that are not clear to your audience, and make sure that you value your audience more than anything else. For example, you need to ask yourself this a specific question. Can my audience understand what exactly I'm trying to explain? By analyzing the audience, then you can start drafting your ideas either in writing or for your presentation slides that you can ready. And then little by little, of course, with different steps that you need to take, you need to have proper documentations for that. Any kind of writing that you need to document, you need to make sure that you avoid lengthy messages, either an email or report writing and so on. And if it is the long attachment can be added to it rather than having it as the body of your writing. Pre-writing is a very, very important step, drafting or outlining your ideas. Basically, what I always suggest the students to do and professionals to make sure that you jot down your notes in bullet points and ask yourself what might have been missing in my content, and then try to go with the process of elimination. Eliminate the unnecessary words and ideas in order to avoid lack of concision or redundancy. Therefore, whatever that is left off would be essential. So you need to have proper strategies for your writing. Your writing should tackle specific organization, could be a paper, could be a report, and so on. If it is the job skill checklist, I can introduce the job skill checklist. More than welcome to use this checklist. If the job that you're applying, for example, what kind of program the jobs might be able to be introduced, I'm going to send this specific website below in the comment box. I will add this, and more than welcome to use it and comment in the comment box below if you like. Depends on a proper job that you're supposed to do. What are those components in your writing that you need to take responsibility of. If you want to write a cover letter, in your cover letter, you need to introduce yourself in short, concise pattern of writing and have a summary of your experiences that are relevant to the job that you're applying for. How you can prepare for the cover letter writing: you need to read the job descriptions carefully. You need to write down what are those specific responsibilities that the job description is asking for. And then you need to have the paraphrase version of those job descriptions, bullet points within your resume, which definitely resonates with your experiences. And nowadays, needless to emphasize that AI, artificial intelligence, in most companies, they select the resume because of the similarities of the job descriptions, bullet points, and the resume descriptions. It is very important that when you write your cover letter, you avoid lack of concision, you avoid repetition. Try to use good vocabulary, synonyms of the words, collocations. I also have 4 of those collocation videos in my channel that more than welcome to educate yourself. I would definitely add up these links in the comment box below for everyone to enjoy learning. It is very important to have the personal statement. What is the personal statement that you write in your cover letter when you want to write down personal statement? Or if that is a college paper or university paper, you need to write down a letter of intent or personal statement, which is pretty much the same as the job application. That you definitely start describing yourself, how your specific skills and knowledge will add values to the company. Your personal statement should, in general, it should be comprehensive. Um, in short, if I want to say, what do I mean exact by having it comprehensive? Keep it simple. That is the policy in business writing. When you communicate, what you wrote is a type of the statement that specifically is related to the school application that you have or the job that you're applying. They ask a specific question within the personal statement. Before you write down your personal statement, in the answer to that question, you need to comprehend the questions very carefully. I always tell the students that 90% of the right answer is comprehension of the right question that you read and you understand. So make sure that you read the question carefully. And if you're applying, for example, for the business school, your application needs to have multiple essays, and it should be relevant with the specific job that you're applying for or the school that you're applying for. There are some questions. These are the sample questions that are prepared for you. You're more than welcome to review these questions. Before you write, you need to ask yourself questions like what's special or unique, distinctive or impressive educational background or the skills about you or your life story. I try to write down at least 5 bullet points for each question in the answer to each question. The second question that you can ask yourself is what details of your life, personal or family problems, history, people, or the events that you have shaped you or influenced your goals, the way that you think that you're a good fit for that job, or the way that you think that you're great, suitable applicant for that specific school, might help you, might help the committee member to select you in the answer to that question. You can also ask yourself, when did you become interested in this field and why? And what have you learned about that? How much you know about this field, and if there is more interest that might back that up or reinforce your conviction, more than welcome to add it up to the list. You can ask yourself, how have you learned about any kind of field that you're interested in applying to, either school or at work, for example? And you can talk about the classes, the readings, the seminars, work, and other types of experiences that you were joining that might add up values to your letter of statement. If you have worked a lot during your college years, for example, if you're applying for a job, In your cover letter, you can say, what have you learned in terms of leadership or the managerial skills, for example, and how has that work contributed to your growth? You can also talk about your goals, your career goals. I would always add up the mission and the vision that you have for that job. It is absolutely recommended to be in parallel with the mission and the vision of the company that you're applying to or the college or the university that you're applying to. And you can ask yourself, are there any gaps, any problem or the discrepancies in your academic record that you should explain? For example, grade records, but mediocre LSAT or the GRE score, for example, or a distinct upward pattern of the GPA if you want to add up more values to it. You can ask yourself if you have had to overcome any unusual obstacles or hardship. For example, could be short in money, that you had to work hard while you were studying at college and so on. That will definitely display your hard working and being goal-oriented attribute. There are some other questions that you can ask yourself. The next one you can think of, what personal characteristics, for example, in terms of integrity, compassion, and persistency that you might have. And by giving an example, you need to display, you need to showcase in your letter of intent or your cover letter how those kind of skills are embedded within your personality and how you came this far. What kind of skills, for example, in terms of leadership, communication, and analysis and analytical skills, if you're excellent in problem solving, give an example. What happened once at colleges that you were attending or at work that you were able to solve an issue. You can also ask yourself why you might be a stronger candidate comparing to the other candidates. What makes you different? You need to showcase that. You need to definitely highlight. The last question that you can ask yourself is, what are the most compelling reasons you can give for the admission committee to be interested in? What I would suggest, I would definitely suggest everyone to check other videos that I posted on my channel. They will help you to write in a professional setting or the test taking courses. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you in the next session. Thanks for watching.